Hi, and welcome to The Bottom Line. I'm Pastor Paul Steele from Bethlehem Church in Austin, Minnesota. Now, The Bottom Line is our weekly summary of the previous Sunday's sermon. And we are in a 4-week series entitled Lost as we talk about money and finances. Most Americans are lost when it comes to our finances. We have way too much debt and we experience significant financial pressure every single month. But the Bible says way too much about money for us to be lost financially. And if we're going to get unlost, the very first step that we need to take is to realize the important truth that God owns everything. The money that we have technically isn't our money, it's God's money. And we are his stewards. To be a steward means that we are to manage what we have been given, that we manage the property of somebody else. So we need to manage the money that God has given to us. We need to manage the resources that God has given to us. That's what it means to be a steward. And understanding this principle is the very first step that we need to get unlost. The second is that we need to ask the question, how do I become a good steward of God's money, of God's resources? In Luke chapter 12, verses 13 through 21, we see that Jesus is speaking to a crowd, and a guy in the crowd yells out and asks Jesus a question. Hey, Jesus, tell my brother to divide our father's inheritance with me. See, he's saying, hey, this isn't fair. Have him do what is fair. Split this the way it should be. And Jesus says, hey, be on guard against greed. He saw that it was a fairness question when Jesus understood that in the heart, it was a greed problem. And most of the time, when we're talking about finances, it's not really about fairness. It's not about the fact that we don't make as much as somebody else. And if we just made us more, if there was a fair wage or we had a fair amount of money, then everything would be okay. No, most of it has to deal with greed and the stuff that we want. We need to understand, how do we manage this stuff that we have? So Jesus tells this parable about a man who has this bumper crop and he decides to hoard it all. But then he dies. And who gets what he was trying to keep? See, this man in the parable forgot the reason why he was blessed with this bumper crop. It was so that he could bless other people. See, we need to understand that the reason God has blessed us, that he has given us these resources, that he has loaned us these things, is so we can bless other people. So how do we become a good steward, a good manager? Well, we need a plan, a budget that starts with giving. How can we bless other people? Then it's about saving, that we save some of what God has given to us so that we, then in case of emergency, in case of something happening, we have this little thing to fall back on so that we can continue to be a blessing. And then we live on the rest. Our lifestyle is determined by our income, not us trying to live up to a certain lifestyle that we want to. It's determined by what God has given to us. So this is the next step to getting unlost, understanding how we become good stewards, good managers of what God has given to us. So the bottom line this week is to be a good steward of God's money. We need to give, save, and live on the rest. We need to have this plan, this budget that prioritizes giving, saving, and then arranging our life so we can live on the rest of it. So our challenge this week is to make a budget. Make a budget that prioritizes giving, saving, and then being able to live on the rest. Hey, I want to invite you to join us on Sunday mornings at 10:30 in person next to Ellis Middle School here in Austin, Minnesota, or online on Facebook and YouTube. Hey, and if you want to partner with us in the ministry that we're doing, you can give. You can go to our website, BethlehemChurchAustin.org.com. And follow the give tab and to help bless us as we seek to do ministry here in Austin. If there's a prayer request that you'd like me to be praying about, let me know. Send me a message. I'd be glad to pray for you. Have a wonderful rest of the week, and God bless.